Dear friends, dear colleagues, first of all, I would like to thank the UPASI, the organizers of the conference, to invite me to speak here. It's an opportunity for share my vision. Although I have many friends in India and I have visited the country several times, this is my first time in this wonderful part of the country. And I have only positive impression. So, to better present the analysis of consumer trends and behaviors in Russia, I would like to begin with a brief overview of the main characteristics of our market. So let's start. Okay. Despite the fact that Russia is still one of the largest tea buyer in the world, tea imports have been steadily declining in recent years. This is, unfortunately, but this is a fact. After a break in the early 2000s, India has again become the main supplier of tea to Russia. However, as you can see, the volumes of supply are significantly lower than what Indian companies achieved in the past. Along with the overall declining in purchasing volumes, it is clear that Russian consumers are now less focused on the country or countries of origin and more on the brand as well as the taste and aroma of the beverage. Another significant factor impacting the tea market is growing demand for coffee. As shown in this slide, coffee consumption is increasing at the expenses of tea, and importantly, the total consumption of hot beverages over the past decade has remained stable. So, how and where is tea sold in Russia? The key sale channels are modern retail chains. Major players like Magnit and Peterachka operate tens of thousands of stores across the country. These retailers significantly shape the overall structure of the Russian tea market. The profitability of the tea business is relatively low because of this. The cost of market entry for new brands is high, and opportunities for market growth and category promotion are limited. Tea is supplied to retail chains through specialized distribution center managed by the chains themselves. There is a huge variety of tea available on the store shelves. However, nearly 75% of the market is controlled by just 5 companies. The main brands that have existed in the Russian markets for over 15-20 years are presented on this slide. Most of them local, except Ahmati and Akbar. But also interesting that all of these brands packed in Russia. In mass market, about 70% of teas sold is in single-serve tea bags, single chamber, double chamber, pyramid bags. Around 65% of tea in Russia is sold in its pure form, while the remaining portion includes flavored teas and products that not contain traditional tea, Camellia sinensis at all. It's worth nothing that every year the consumption of flavored drinks and beverages based on various herbs and plants is growing. Clearly, constant product innovation with new flavors and aromas helps producers maintain consumer interests. On this slide, we see the sales dynamics. The value in rubles is increasing due to the rising production cost, while sale volumes is declining. Only pyramid tea bags show growth, but their share of the overall market is still small, just 4.2%. But it is only the product which growing this time. So what is the market challenges and opportunities? Based on this data presented, it is evident that the tea market is facing significant challenges. Tea is losing the competition to coffee. To maintain their position, tea suppliers must constantly introduce new combinations of flavors and aromas using herbs and fruits. New packaging formats like pyramid bags also help, but this alone is not enough to ensure a stable business. All market players need to consider new models for the development of the tea industry that will ensure stability and financial viability. While the mass market still dominates, it is important to note that over the past decade, a niche for premium tea has slowly begun to form in Russia. The main distribution channel for such teas is online marketplaces like Ozon or Wildberries. These platforms offer thousands of different teas from various countries and estates, mostly from China, but also some interesting Indian offerings are also presented there. Tea consumers continue to order teas from specific gardens in Darjeeling, some Tipi Orthodox Assam, and white teas from Nilgiri. While still a relatively small segment, this market is growing and full of potential. In this part of the market, tea can cost over $200 per kilo and more. It's just the average price for the teas which is sold through the marketplaces. One positive trends we are seeing in this growing interest in tea among young people. This is mostly visible in the HoReCa sector. Cafes, bars, tea rooms, and restaurants where trends and modern lifestyle choices begin. Since the 19th, Chinese tea clubs have existed in Russia, but now we see the widespread emergence of modern tea venues that serve bubble tea and other cold tea-based beverages. Tea is also actively being introduced in specialty coffee shops. As elsewhere in the world, matcha tea is becoming increasingly popular in Russia, especially as a base for various drinks and cocktails. It is clear that we are witnessing the birth of a new tea market in Russia. We feel it. Back in 2013, we launched a competition system for tea professionals, the people who work in cafes, in tea rooms, and this competition called Tea Masters Cup. Over 7 years, the competition has grown significantly, becoming a kind of Olympic Games for tea professionals. Now, involving 25 countries, the Tea Masters Cup identifies young and talented tea professionals who go on to become trendsetter and establish the fashion for tea. It's interesting movement. These individuals help drive demand for high quality tea and make it fashionable among young consumers. Although the pandemic halted global development of the competition system and we have not yet resumed the world finals, national championship continue in many countries. For example, in Russia, every year we hold several regional qualifying rounds before the national final with hundreds of young tea specialists participating. Many speakers today at the opening of this conference have emphasized the need to engage young people to tea. I believe it is time for India to join the Tea Masters Cup system, to hold regional and national competitions and to participate in a world championship. Through competition, you will discover what the next generation wants from tea. And this is a really good platform, like laboratory, to get some information from the consumers and from the young consumers. This is very important. So in conclusion, mass market tea in Russia is declining, gradually giving way to fruit and herbal blends. The main buyers of traditional tea are people over 35 years, typically with a lower income. At the same time, growing demand for pyramid tea bags and herbal fruit blends shows that consumers have not completely lost interest in the category. They are still hoping for better quality and new experiences. Younger consumers are looking for something modern and stylish in tea. They tend to buy online or in specialty shops and cafes. The HoReCa and e-commerce sector should be the main testing ground for innovation in tea, from packaging to new formats of preparation and presentation. Just like instant coffee, traditional tea bags may soon lose relevance in well-developed markets, remaining only in emergency ones where economic growth is just beginning. Thank you.